WLRN Video presents.
On September 18th, 2021, hundreds of brave Canadians gathered at 6 locations across Canada to protest the effects of Bill C-16 on women. In specific, Canadians were protesting the admittance of male inmates into prisons that were set up for and continue to house females. Canadians are refusing to stay silent any longer. My name is April Neault, WLRN Canadian member, and I joined one of these protests in Canada's capital, Ottawa, Ontario. I will be sharing the media from that event, pictures from the others around the country on that day, an interview I captured while at the protest, and my commentary on the day's events in another video that will be linked to this one. In this video, we will be stringing together the speeches made and captured at 2 of the protest locations: Grand Valley Institution for Women, located in Kitchener, Ontario, and the other one was in Abbotsford, British Columbia, at the Fraser Valley Institution for Women. Some of the speakers include former incarcerated women with stories on how the policies and practices that followed the addition of gender identity and gender expression to the list of prohibited grounds of discrimination to the Canadian Human Rights Act meant and continues to mean sexual assault and harassment and other violations for women. Other speakers were organizing members as well as other feminists. I would like to take this opportunity to thank all of the organizations that came together to make this possible. Huge thank you goes out to Heather Mason. You are a superstar, sister. Thank you for your endless dedication to the cause. If you don't know who Heather is, I will link another video into this one to get you acquainted. We the Females for the signs, planning, and communication. Cause Bar for doing the media strategy, even though there has been and continues to be a giant cover-up and silencing of the harms of gender ideology across Canada. And the WHRC for those amazing posters. The organization Women Matter. You women absolutely rock. Alberta Women's Advocacy Association. Alberta Radical Feminists. Pour les droits des femmes Québec. And last but not least, Keep Prisons Single Sex. I hope to see you all in the streets again real soon. Let's get organizing. Without further ado, here are the speakers from the Grand Valley Institution for Women in Kitchener, Ontario.
Today we're gathered from Nova Scotia to British Columbia at women's prisons across the country to call out the federal government for its scandalous treatment of women in women's prisons. Since Bill C-16 passed, the government has not defended women's rights to safety. We want to hear from people who have lived behind this fence to hear what's really going on. This is Stephanie Martin. Yeah, so what is this, our 4th protest now, I think? Yeah, you know, we come here because, as you know, Madeline was saying, these men that are in here, you know, they come in here and they portray themselves as being women. And when I was here with these men that were saying, you know, yeah, I'm a woman and this is where I want to do my time. And they came in here and they victimized these women. And they got involved in relationships and they sexually assaulted women within the institution, and they just took advantage of them, and they, you know, they played with their minds and their emotions, and they just brought them back to those places that, you know, women don't need to be when they're trying to heal and get better. And that's what, you know, women are trying to do when they're here so that they don't have to come back. And you know, it's such a shame that the government's allowing this to happen and that women are being
you know, endangered and treated like blatantly pieces of shit. And that's exactly what it is. And the government doesn't care. You know, I lived with one of these men, and I watched him, you know, go through woman after woman after woman in this institution. And he sexually assaulted one of the women in our house. And, you know, he's up on charges now, but he's walking free, and she's still behind these walls. And, you know, she can't even go home because she has to stay in this country because she has to deal with this court case. And she should have been deported months ago. And she can't be. So, I mean, I don't see where that's fair. And she still deals with that every day. And, you know, it just keeps getting worse. You know, I keep seeing these things on Facebook where more men who are you know, been convicted of sexual assault and rape and they're pedophiles who just turn around and say, hey, all of a sudden I identify as a woman and I'm going to go serve my time in a woman's prison. And they have to just say, okay, how is that fair? You know, where does a woman's rights come in there? And, you know, and that's why, you know, every time there's a protest, I'm out here, and because there's nobody to defend these women, and these women are my friends. These are women that I know and I love and I care about. And, you know, some of them I don't know, but you know what? I still care about them, because who's going to stand up for them? Because the government doesn't care. And these men are just going to use them and abuse them, and there's nobody in there to stand up for them. They're not even putting these men in the max unit. You know, somebody gets abused and, oh, they'll go to max for what, a week? And then they're back out there again to do it all over again. You know, we need to band together and do something. You know, the public needs to speak up and make the government change this policy, because it is not fair. If this was happening out here, nobody would stand for it. So why are we letting men rape our women in there?
Hello, I'm Jacob Birch, and I just wanted to touch on the fact that I was also incarcerated in GBI here, and firsthand watched men, full-blown men, take advantage of this bill that's been passed. And okay, never mind. Take advantage of the bill they passed and just claim they're female when they're not. And watching this go on and seeing it happen honestly affected me more than most, because I'm transgender myself, female to male. And watching them fake being transgender honestly hit deep for me, because I've been through a lot of turmoil, abuse, there's a lot of negative in my life because of my identity of being transgender, and watching men think it's a joke and fake it is not cool, and I don't agree with it at all. And in honesty, Bill C-16 just honestly needs adjustment and changing.
Today, I'm so happy it's not raining. And I'm really pleased with the turnout. You guys are all super awesome. Can we get a round of applause for how awesome everyone is? So yeah, a lot of you were here in August, and I see a lot of familiar faces, and this is great. So today, there are 5 women's prisons in Canada where women and some men are getting together to protest the policy that came into effect after Bill C-16 was passed under the Liberal government, that allows biological males to simply state that they feel like women and be transferred into women's prisons. It is bullshit, and it's happening. And even yesterday, the Toronto Star released a story about one such male. I don't even really want to say his name, but he murdered a woman.
A random woman.
Well, his last name's Murillo, but he murdered a woman in Canada. She was a nurse. Her name's Rhodesia Estrada, and she had 3 daughters who were sleeping down the hall when 2 men came into her house and raped and killed her. And one of these men was transferred to a women's prison while awaiting trial. And the jury did not know that this male was in a women's prison. Throughout the duration of the trial, they referred to this person as a man. The same with sentencing, and it just hit the news yesterday. So this is what happens with Bill C-16 and gender self-ID. It's the same as Tara D'Souza, who has raped and murdered children and ended up in a prison where there's a mother-baby program.
Wake up, Canada!
Wake up, Canada! Wake up, Canada, yeah. It's absolutely disgusting, abhorrent, and even the Toronto Star article that described this latest case referred to women and men like us who are opposed to it as transphobic. And that's absolute bullshit. We're not transphobic, and women's rights are not transphobic. And we're sick of saying that. So I'm going to introduce Alia. She actually spent 5 years in this prison here. And after she's been out, she has been an advocate with the Elizabeth Fry Society for years and years before they became trans activists, essentially. So she is one of the brave women like Heather Mason, who was here in August, that are actually standing up and speaking out about how wrong gender self-ID is and the horrible fallout of Bill C-16. So there are not a lot of women who are this brave or willing to take this stand and deal with the backlash that it comes with. So on that note, here is Alia.
Thanks, guys. Hi again. I think I did see a lot of you guys here in August, so thanks. Woo! Yeah, thanks for coming back again and supporting this. It means a lot to me here. I not only have spent the last 10 years advocating for women inside prison, advocating for women's safe spaces inside prison, advocating that women's prisons be different than men's prison because women are different than men. But I also did spend 5 years inside this prison. I just want to take a moment to thank the guards for honking for us. Woo! That's honestly solid. So yeah, I'm here today because this means a lot to me. I remember I was once a very voiceless woman, like many of these, like all of these women inside here today. I remember feeling that I deserved what I was getting. I remember I felt like I deserved the abuse and I had no voice in there. And, you know, back then, the only sexual harassment you got was from the male staff, and I thought that was bad enough. But, you know, now we have men walking around the yard with these women. It's fucking disgusting what's going on inside here. I am a member of the organization called Strength and Sisterhood. We're a coalition of women with lived experience, women with degrees, and women of other paths. And we basically became an organization because it came really apparent after the Bill C-16 and everything was changed at corrections that no one was actually standing up for women. These organizations that are getting funding claiming that they're helping these women are just disregarding their complaints of sexual harassment. Woo! They're disregarding their complaints of sexual assaults, and these women that are speaking up are being labeled as transphobic. It is not transphobic to want to be safe. It's not transphobic to want to have a woman's safe space.
It's not transphobic to want to compete in women's sports. I can't actually believe that this is even a fucking argument. I feel like after all my years of advocacy that we've taken 10 steps back from fighting for these women.
Wake up, Canada!
Wake up, Canada. I'm sure that the correctional staff don't want to deal with the violence and the assaults that are going on inside the women's prison. Because from what I remember, the majority of them actually cared about the women there when I was in there. I'm sure that they don't want to deal with these men having their cocks out in front of these women. I'm sure that they don't want to push these women to the side and tell them that they can't be helped. Hear, hear. I'm here today because there's, I think at this moment, 5 men inside this institution. That's bullshit. It is. There, Justin Trudeau is protecting rapists' rights over women's rights. What is enough? One is too many. How many more calls do we have to get on our line complaining about sexual harassment and sexual assault, grooming that's going on inside this institution? The dynamics change. These men not only are causing sexual assaults and harassment, but the dynamic of the women have changed. They're getting clicks and they're grooming these women into thinking that there's something else. Just like the reasons and the men that treated them on the outside. These are vulnerable women. Over 90% of women in a federal prison have a history of sexual assault. And they don't give a fuck when they're putting these pedophiles and these rapists in our prison with the women with a mother-child program in it. It's not okay. It's sad, actually, that, you know, I'm happy to see all the same faces here, but where's the fucking media today? Where's the media that's supposed to cover this and actually care? We need a platform to speak on.
Where's the media?
I challenge the media to let one of us come speak up about this.
Where is the media? CBC was contacted. CTV was contacted.
Exactly. We contacted all the media. Nobody gives a shit about women, especially women in federal prison.
We care about women in federal prison. We hear
So thanks for everyone again who's come out today. It means a lot to me. It means a lot to our sisters inside. They're hurting inside there. Women are calling us, they're scared. They're scared to be inside a place that the government's supposed to protect you, a place that's supposed to rehabilitate you. You cannot rehabilitate when you're being assaulted, when you're being harassed, when you're being victimized. Prison doesn't heal, it hurts. These women are stuck in cages, and as much as I'm an abolitionist, we need someone to speak up and get these women help while they're in here, and get these fucking men back to the men's prison where they belong. There's plenty of room over there. Make men trans their own wing. Give them the fucking help that they need that is not the same as what women need. Trans rights should not trump women's rights. Men's feelings should not trump women's safety. It's bullshit. You're welcome to come on up, Ingrid. This is Ingrid, and she's amazing.
Oh my God. Okay, so this protest today is to help support the women who've been incarcerated. Basically, they're stuck in prison. They can't go anywhere while they're males. But this is a wide-reaching policy that affects all other parts of society. It affects transition houses, it affects halfway houses, it affects rehab, it affects mental health hospitals. There are places where women can't leave and they can't get away, and it's fucking crazy making to put victims of sexual assault and sexual abuse in situations where they don't have any words to refer to sex, where they can't explain sexism. They shut down. They know what the power structure is. They're quiet, they're afraid, they try to make do. They try so hard, and when you complain, when you say something, even if you're trying so hard to wear the other person's needs, they don't listen. They will call you transphobic no matter what. We have a side here that is defending a baby rapist. They will defend people who flash you and are inappropriate with their genitalia, and they will question you and question you and question you and wear you down because they just won't respect words, they won't respect spaces. And unfortunately, there are a lot of people who are in pain. And it's attacking the least powerful in society. It's not okay in that it's creating conflict and it's just being shoved under the rug over and over and over again. It's like people don't even understand why we had single-sex spaces in the first place. They've made all spaces that are women's unisex, unless they are privately funded. And that is fucking horrifying to victims of sexual assault, to lose their words, to lose their ability to communicate, and to know that they will be blamed. Thank you.
Thanks, Ingrid.
Well spoken. Very well spoken.
Something that I will finish up with, that Ingrid kind of touched on, is these women are scared to speak up. There's women's organizations, CAFEs, who used to support women. They supported me huge when I got out of prison. I felt safe there. CAFEs now has passed a policy where they also protect and support self-identifying males in their safe transition houses and halfway houses. These women inside, this is their only option to get parole, is if you're paroled to a halfway house that is funded by the Elizabeth Fry Society and CAFEs. These women are scared to speak up of the sexual assaults and harassment because they're scared to get their parole. It's devastating that a woman's freedom is dependent on a men's feeling. Yes?
Why aren't we protesting the Elizabeth Fry Society?
I honestly think we should be protesting at the CAFEs.
Yeah. I think we have to protest.
I would love to go down to the halfway house in New West and protest. Somehow there's some stickers there. Not sure how, but I would love that idea because Elizabeth Fry Society, they supported me when my story was useful to them. I spoke on behalf of them for over 10 years. I traveled across Canada and I told my story about how I spent almost 3 years in segregation, how detrimental that was to me, and they loved me. They ate me up. They said I was amazing.
Hi, my name's Mary. Glad you're all here. I have my own little mini protest that goes on, and I go out and walk the dog every day, you know, and spend about an hour, 2 hours. And as you're going through the forests and the trails and, you know, around the shopping centers, I stop and notify people, hey, are you aware Trudeau is putting sex offenders in women's prisons, including the 3-year-old baby? And I tell them where to find the information. I said it's right on the National Post, written by Barbara Kay under Trudeau, the fake feminist. So they now know that there's a legitimate source for my claim. More so, what I'm really astounded at, it just blows me away. We have a very suppressed press. And we're not, you know, yes, we all gather together here as a little group and people see us and they honk for us, but we're not getting the information out. You know, I have a wealth of information I send people, and it's, you know, a lot of it is generated from the UK press and the UK studies because they're really on top of this. They're the strongest fighters in this battle. And I thought, really, we have to kind of get organized as different groups outside of our protests and start organizing to put out flyers and information on this topic, because all they're hearing is one side. I mean, for example, Kemi Badenoch has been appointed the Equalities Minister in the UK. And I looked at the press and they're immediately trashing this woman. The reason they're trashing her is she has stood up to the woke agenda and kicked out the Black Lives Matter and critical race theory. She stands to be probably put in charge of the education. They've removed Gavin Williamson. And it appears to me that, you know, they will immediately go on a full assault. We have press that is really important because they do report the truth. But most of it is located in the US, like the National Review, the Washington Times, the Washington Examiner. You've got the Spike News, the Critic, the Spectator. So we have to kind of get ourselves organized to direct the public towards these organizations or these news sources so they get the other side of the story. I think we stand here and we kind of, do our daily protests, but for the most part, we're ignored by the media. We don't have to be in that position. We can bring the media that people need to read to them by getting organized and putting out an organized group. Let's, have a free media. Thank you.
That's okay. It was great, yeah. I wanted to say Heather Mason is obviously not here today because today is a national prison protest day. We've got women here in Abbotsford. We have people in Alberta and Ontario and Nova Scotia and Quebec at women's prisons protesting. So Heather, in June of this year, sent a briefing to the Standing Committee on Public Safety and National Security. And so I just wanted to read her recommendations in this briefing so that everyone here can see that, this is ultimately the reason we're here. So number one, she wants Correctional Services of Canada to immediately halt the transfer of any transgender individuals from men's prisons to women's prisons. Number two, she wants transgender individuals with histories of violence towards women or children who have already been transferred from a men's prison to a women's prison to be immediately moved to an accommodation other than a women's prison. Number three, she wants the transfer criteria for transgender people to be developed in consultation with transgender groups and organizations. The transfer criteria should ensure that trans individuals who meet criteria can be provided with a transfer to an accommodation other than a women's prison, and one specifically designed to meet the unique needs of that population. Yeah, it should not be incumbent upon women to deal with this very male problem. Number four, independent feminist supports of women's choosing should be provided to all women inside in order to foster the trust and support required to allow women to disclose any experiences of violence. Women should be allowed to access these supports either in person or by telephone or both on a regular basis. And lastly, she says that the prison population statistics should be registered according to prisoners' sex at birth, also known as sex. Or two new categories of statistics should be established for transgender women and transgender men, respectively. Yeah, that's it. I agree. Let's get the men out of this prison. Oh, yeah. Thank you, Heather Mason.
Does anyone else have any comments, questions? These people do. Woo! I just want to challenge, I guess, any groups that are apparently supporting women. And I want to challenge you guys to actually help these women inside that are screaming for help. If that's your job, do it. And if not, step down and let a group that's willing to help.
Exactly, that's right.
If you want to go help men, but stop screaming that you're here for the women because you're not.
Get down! Get out of the way!
If you're in any way supporting that these men be transferred to the women's prison, you're not an ally at all, even if you are a woman.
That's right! That's right!
Again, thanks everybody for coming out here today. It means a lot. And we need to get men out of women's prison. Take care.
And out of our bathrooms.
Group shot. We need a group shot.
Yes. Can we please get a group shot this time so we don't get yelled at? Like a big group picture.
Thanks for staying tuned. Don't forget to watch the next video, wherein I share more photos from the protests across Canada, share a brief interview I had with a fellow protester, and share some commentary on the day of action and why this is every woman's battle. Remember to like, comment, and share widely, sisters.
I was born woman, off my knees I will stand for my liberation. Sisters rise again. I was born